What do you do?
I am a performer in this rock and roll debauchery.
I'm a performer in this debauchery.
I'm a performer in the debauchery.
Whiteford?
Whiteford.
Whiteford.
I'm a performer in the debacle.
I am. You good? Okay, so let's get started. So, like I said, let me reset where we are. We are at the theater. We're sort of spending the whole day with an off-Broadway show here in New York called
Rock and roll debauchery.
Is it Debauchery or Debauchery?
I think you can say it both ways.
Okay, so I'm going to say
I really
Debauchery, and this is Sean Whiteford, and he is a performer here. And let's chat. Tell me about the show. First of all, when does it open?
This Thursday.
Stop it, your bad self. It literally opens this Thursday.
It opens this Thursday. I'm not fooling.
Are you ready for it?
I believe so.
You know all your lines?
I believe so.
Okay, you know all your dance parts and your music?
I don't dance much in this one, but I sing a lot.
You do?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the show about?
Oh man, it is a wild, very campy sort of extravaganza, if you will. It has like lots of different levels to it. It sort of like has a love story to it. There's also sort of like a carnival aspect to it. There's like, I don't know if you had a freak show up here before. I've been a part of several different rock and roll debaucheries here, and they've all had different stories. And this one kind of combines all of them all together into one big show.
Okay.
If that makes any sense.
None.
None
Okay. For me.
All right. Well, for instance, in the show, I play sort of a nerdy stage manager who sort of gets caught up with this group of performers who take me to Sin City. They sort of turn my life upside down. They transform me into this big, sexy rock star.
Okay.
I fall in love with a girl. I mean, the characters are ridiculous.
That's
crazy. My character's name is Guy.
Okay.
And the girl I fall in love with is Girl.
Girl.
I mean, it is.
Well, no one wants you to forget their names.
No. And it is sort of like a leave your brain at the door type thing. It is just a good, all-around good time. I could talk to you about the plot, but I don't think that's really the main point of it. It's just, it is these classic rock songs. We have AC/DC. What else? We have Bon Jovi? No, we don't have Bon Jovi. Led Zeppelin, Prince.
Oh, nice.
Blondie.
And do you sing all these songs?
I sing a good portion of them. It's me and Tracy McDowell, who is in Motown on Broadway, and she's been in Rent for years, and Darius Harper sort of plays sort of like the ringmaster of this whole thing, and he's been in Kinky Boots, the Kinky Boots tour, and he's just absolutely fantastic. The cast is just incredible. The dancing is incredible. And
how long have you guys been in rehearsals for?
Not very long.
All right,
no,
all right. Welcome to our show. This is how we do it.
Not very long. We've really only had basically a 2-week process, and because I've been in the show before and in different incarnations, but like I sort of get the vibe of how things work here, and like a lot of what I'm doing in the show is stuff I've done before, so it's been a very easy fit.
What does that mean that you've done before? Like, what do you mean?
Well, this isn't the first rock and roll debauchery or debauchery. I've been in 4 other incarnations of it, and this one is like a more longer version and whatnot, but it features segments that have been done before, that I have been featured in before. So it's not like I'm learning a whole new show necessarily. I'm kind of stepping in and doing what I've done before, you know, and so it's been an easier process for me as opposed to some people who have never done it before and are coming in and learning this whole 75-minute extravaganza. I'll say it again because it's just wild.
What were you doing before this show?
I've been doing Rock of Ages for a long time. I toured with the Broadway production on the Norwegian Breakaway, with the cruise ship, and I just did it in Reno actually as well. And actually, I just directed one of the regional premieres of the show as well in upstate New York, and I was in that. And our producer and director Brian Campione was in the show as well. And we're a nice family over here. Yeah, we
Are you just obsessed with rock and roll? Like you?
I live and breathe it, man. That's my favorite thing. It's my forte. I love to scream. I love to wail, and this show really gives me a good opportunity to do all that. So.
How long are you guys going to be doing your thing for here?
We do it every Thursday until November 19th.
Okay.
So it's 4 performances overall, but it is a weekly thing for a little while, for about a month.
How many people in the show?
Wow, I think a good, is that, my director's giving me a cue, 10? 10 people? It feels like more.
Feels like more.
Feels like more, but it's 10 outrageously talented people.
Where did you grow up?
Saugerties, New York. Upstate New York. Saugerties.
That's where Hunter Mountain is, right? Like, is that?
It is all upstate. You can consider that all Hudson Valley territory. Saugerties is kind of more well known to be where Jimmy Fallon grew up. He mentions the town a lot on his show, and on Saturday Night Live he mentioned a lot. Saugerties, and now I just moved to Hudson, New York, which is only really 25 minutes away, but it is a nice breath of fresh air. And I love coming down here and being a part of these shows here. I'm very grateful to be part of this Debauchery family.
Debauchery.
Yeah.
This is like you're living the dream that people think of as the dream, where you come to New York and you try to make it, and you sprinkle yourself around, and you get to, you know, taste that marvelous sort of atmosphere of Broadway, of off-Broadway, of anything theatrical in New York City.
Sure.
They say if you can make it here, so, I mean, talk to me a little bit about that.
About, like, just dreams?
Just like what the lifestyle is like.
You know, it's interesting. I was just talking to somebody about this yesterday, and it was like, what makes you successful? Like, what makes you like feel like you have made it or whatever? And I honestly think it's just doing what makes you happy. You know, and it's like if you can pay the bills and you're happy, then you're successful and you've made it. You know, I have friends who, you know, have their dream is to always be on Broadway, and then they get there and they're like, oh, okay, well,
yeah,
good. I was hoping that I would, and
here I am.
And now what? You know, it's like as a performer, it's like you're constantly thinking like, now what? Like, what's next? You know, and you know, a lot of people like in my family or friends or whatever, it's like I'll do something like this or whatever, and they'll be like, oh, cool. So what's next? Right. It's like, oh, so you always have to kind of be on your feet and whatnot in this business, I suppose, and like feel like you have to just keep going and keep moving.
But you do if this is your life, this is your career, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I've certainly try to make it.
Is it hard? Are you nervous? Do you get nervous of what the next gig is?
No, never. You know, I'm also a songwriter and a playwright, and I create my own opportunities too. That's kind of like what you have to do too. You can't like really wait around for somebody to hand you something. Like if you can create and you can, if you can do that, then you are ahead of the game, in my opinion. Like if you can put yourself out there, you create your own show, you know, like even like the people who are behind this, it's like they're making their own opportunities, you know, and they're making it happen, and it's big, and people are coming, and it's successful, right. You know, and you can say you've made it, right. You know, but it's like they're not getting it handed necessarily to them, you know, not always are things getting handed to me. It's like you have to work for it, and honestly, if you can create, that's the best thing that you can have on your shoulder, you know.
Is it easier today than it was, say, 5-10 years ago to make it in this town, or is it's always just going to be the same competitive, really difficult?
I mean, it's outrageously competitive. The best thing you can do is just trust in yourself and what you have to offer. What can you bring to the table? You know, you can't be too concerned about what the other person that just auditioned or the person right after you, what they're doing. It's like you have to just be so incredibly confident in like who you are and what you bring. And if you think that they're looking for something and you just come in and you do your thing, maybe they'll change their mind and be like, actually, you know what? I like that instead. That's
really hard to do.
You know,
it's really hard to do.
No, it takes a long time to have that kind of trust in yourself, to be able to put yourself out there like that, you know, and not have to be concerned about how you're doing and what you're doing and are they going to like me or whatever. Yeah. You know, it takes a long time.
What was the audition process like for this show?
Not much, actually. Like, I'm trying to think back. I've been a part of this for 4 years, almost 4 years, 3.5. Yeah, it's crazy. I remember getting seeing a notice on Facebook that they were looking for singers, and I just submitted myself. This is perfect. 360 here. Like, it's a song I wrote. You know, talk about creating my own opportunities. It's a song I wrote that I sent to them. And they flipped, and they pretty much called me like the next day saying that they wanted me to be a part of this. And it's like just interesting, though, that's like it wasn't just any song. It was a song I wrote for myself, you know, that showcased me. Yeah. You know, it's like, so that's very interesting. It wasn't like a hard process, but you know, it was an interesting process.
We're talking to Sean Whiteford. He is one of the stars of Rock and Roll Debauchery here in New York City and an off-Broadway show that's opening up this week. So what a normal, I'm always curious what a normal audition process is like. Like, I think of an audition process as like Flashdance, where she like goes up in front of like 8 people who have less than 0 personality, and they're all like all tightly buttoned up, and she's over there dancing with her leg warmers on. I always feel really bad for people with the whole audition process. It's intimidating. It's terrifying.
It can be very, very tough. For instance, like I've been a part of Rock of Ages for a long time, but that process to get to the point where I was actually in it took a very, very long time.
Tell me.
I auditioned for a good 3.5 years before I finally was cast.
3.5 years?
Yeah, getting called back for a very, very long time.
3.5 years?
Yes.
Wow.
And almost getting it, like being almost so sure that I was going to get it, and then not getting it, and then going out for it again, and then coming so close, and then not getting it, and then eventually it was the right time, it was the right moment.
You mean they kept casting other people?
Yeah, for whatever reason.
Yeah, I don't know what that reason is all about.
But it's just a matter of timing, being in the right moment at the right time. It wasn't my time yet, and then eventually, 3.5 years later, I stuck with it. You have to be persistent. And
do you believe when you don't get something that it wasn't your time, or that you didn't nail it, or that gods were against you?
Well, personally, not with Rock of Ages. That was something that I always I just believed in my heart that I was meant to be a part of. So I stuck with it, and I really wanted to keep working at it and try to get better at each callback and whatnot.
But break it down. What do you do at a callback?
Callback?
We're not actors. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I'm fascinated by it.
Well, basically, at first, your audition is only about 15-something seconds of singing. So
you can sing whatever you want?
Yeah, pretty much for Rock of Ages, it's like saying, they call it 16 bars, which is just measures in sheet music or whatever, but it's basically 15 seconds of singing a pop rock song.
Like what?
For me, I'm trying to remember what I sang. I sang Van Halen and stuff like that, Journey.
With no music, just your voice?
No, they have a piano backing you up. And that's tough with rock music because it's all very guitar-driven and whatnot, so on piano it can kind of sound a little ridiculous. But in 15 seconds, you basically have to prove who you are and what you have to offer, which is incredibly difficult to pick out the best 15 seconds or so.
It's like American Idol. How many people are in the room?
It can range from 1 to 10.
Oh.
And very interestingly enough is the audition where I finally got Rock of Ages was only one person in the room. Basically, it was just one person and then the piano player, of course. And I was thinking, they're not even really serious about this. They're not even really looking for anybody. There's only one person in here.
Right.
So I went completely full out and just had fun and did it for myself. And that ended up being the one that I got.
Isn't that always the
time
case?
that I got it.
That's always the case. That's always how it happens. Have you auditioned for other things in the past? Are they all generally like that, the audition process?
Yeah, basically. It's sort of, you have your initial audition, and then if they liked what they saw, they'll call you back, and they'll have you read something, they'll have you prepare something from the script or something from the show, a song from the show.
And then you have to come in and first, introduce yourself to everyone? Hey everybody, my name is Sean. Hi, Sean.
That's actually kind of a difficult thing to get accustomed to, just introducing yourself even. You just want to leave it's a job interview.
Right.
Sometimes it's you don't want to come on too strong. You don't want to necessarily shake their hand and feel I need this job.
Yeah.
You have to play it just cool enough. You have your fingers crossed behind your back that it's just gonna go, and it goes by so fast because it's literally, you're only in there for 45 seconds overall, and you're preparing for it for weeks and weeks, and then it just happens, and then you're just people will ask you how it went, and you're just I don't really know. I hope it went well. You can only really hope that it went half as good as you hoped it was going to. If you even meet the halfway point where it's I could have done it better, but it was fine.
It's fine.
That's pretty
Amazing.
much, that's really where you have to set your standard.
But then if you do get the gig, you come into a show where everyone's already light years down the conveyor belt. They know everybody, they're a team, and you're coming in, except for here where you guys are starting this for the first time. Is that hard to do, to join a show already in progress?
Sure, absolutely. I mean, depending on the show, of course, but yeah, I mean, like, but you can't spend too much time worrying about that kind of stuff.
Just do your thing.
You're there because they want you to be. You wouldn't be there if they didn't want you to be a part of what they're doing. So you can't get in your head like that.
You ever forget the words? So the answer is, when was the last time you forgot the words?
Oh man, you know what? Actually, the only time, actually, it's a Rock of Ages story, and I mean, I've done maybe something like 300, 400 performances of that or whatever, and there was just one guy who was heckling in the audience.
What do you mean heckling?
Because you're allowed to drink at Rock of Ages. People are allowed to like bring drinks into the audience. You know, it's not a typical not typical theater etiquette. Mm-hmm. So people are drunk. Off their ass.
Let's just say people are drunk.
Yeah, and
drunk.
So people will be like shouting things and like just like at a stand-up comedy show or something, you know. And this one guy just kept yelling stuff at the most random times. It was not coherent or anything at all. It was just like blah 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 blah.
Right.
And I'm like wrapping up the show. I play the narrator. I like tell the story, you know. And like I'm like wrapping the whole thing up, and the guy yells out something stupid. I don't even remember what it was. It had nothing to do with anything. It was like, I want nachos or something. It was just like, and like nothing to do with anything. And I literally just completely blanked out. And usually I'm pretty good, like on my feet. I'm very good at improv, but like there was just something about whatever he said that completely threw me off. And I literally just said like, I've been doing this for so long, and never have I forgotten where the fuck I am.
God, that's so
you know,
funny.
am I allowed to swear on this? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Wow, that's really funny.
And he ended up being a police officer too, which was really he was like, it was like, oh, the Poughkeepsie police are here today.
Well, look, nachos are amazing.
You
know, like nachos are really amazing. So I can understand why he would want the nachos.
It's absurd, really.
Okay, so now you get your head out of that. Your head is knee deep in this. So I honestly, like, you spent 10 minutes explaining to me. I still don't fully understand what the show is. I tried to Google the show. I still don't fully understand. Is it one of those things where you have to like
see it to believe it?
Really? Is that what it is? You got to really immerse yourself in it to understand what's happening?
Exactly.
It's not so much about, like, again, it's not so much about the story necessarily.
He's like, because there's no story.
Well, I mean,
There's a story.
There's story. Yes, there is a story, but it's more. I feel like it's more about the experience of being at one of these shows. It's like there is so much going on around you. This venue is so fantastic. I mean, and the way the directors use it, you have people like surrounding you at all times. And it's like very much just, I keep saying experience, but it is like something you have to be here and have been here and seen the show to understand, really.
Tell me what kind of music is in the show.
Lots of 70s, 80s, 90s rock. It is all rock, but more on the classic rock side.
Like,
you got AC/DC, you got Led Zeppelin, but you do have Prince thrown in there too, you know? We have
Which
Blondie.
song of Prince?
What's up?
Which Prince song is it?
Kiss and Cream.
Oh, nice.
Kiss and Cream. That's
You know that one.
I wanna be your fantasy.
From Pretty Woman.
Yeah, Julie Roberts.
I just want your extra time and your kiss. You know that one.
That was actually a pretty good Julia Roberts.
Thank you very much.
Well, you know the name of the show.
What show?
Our show.
Yeah.
Julia Roberts.
Oh,
Might have to leave the whole thing for you, John.
Sorry. When we were coming up with the name for the show, I was very, very, strong about making sure this show was called The Julia Roberts Show with Jenna Wolfe. Like, I just felt like that was a good way for people to tune in. She didn't feel good
about that.
She didn't love that idea so much. I loved it so much, but we ended up just going with the Jenna Wolfe Show with Julia Roberts.
Without Julia Roberts.
She hasn't been on the show yet, so we're still waiting for that. And is there audience participation, or are they just in it for the
It allows that. I mean, the characters in the show speak to the audience a lot. It is very immersive. So, yeah, it welcomes audience participation. Like people are more than welcome to be singing along to the songs and to hoot and holler all they want, really. I mean, it's kind of a party,
yeah.
really. Yeah.
Is there any dialogue, or is it all music?
There is quite a bit of dialogue, actually, in this particular version of the show. Yeah, I mean, that period. There's dialogue. There's definitely, like I said, there's definitely a story. There's a pretty great script by Garth Kravitz, who wrote the script, and it's it's a lot of fun.
Is this what you always want to do? You always want to be an actor, singer?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You knew it.
Absolutely. Like I don't remember a time where I wasn't running around singing.
Right.
These songs, actually.
Right. These exact songs.
So it's funny that I'm here now and I'm getting paid for it. You know.
You don't get nervous. No nerves. No butterflies before a show.
Maybe like an opening night. Maybe like this Thursday I might be like a little anxious or whatever, just because it's a short process and whatever. But there is so much trust within this group.
Yeah.
These shows wouldn't have even be possible if there wasn't so much trust within the group.
Right.
Everybody knows what a quick process it is. Like I said, it's like a 2-week process. It's like we all just know it. We're gonna have to buckle down and do this, and everybody is so outrageously talented. We just trust everybody's instincts, and the show just comes together, and it's fantastic.
What's the rehearsal process been like? I'd imagine long. If you had 2 weeks, long days, and
honestly, people pick things up so fast, like you wouldn't
Really?
even believe it. I mean, the dancers in the show, they learn like 4 to 5 dances in a day sometimes.
Wow.
Within 4 to 5 hours. So it's like a dance an hour.
yeah.
You know, and they leave and their like brains are about to explode. You
Mine's
know?
about to explode just by explaining.
But you know, and then we come back tomorrow and it's perfect. You know,
Right.
like I mean, it is just like an incredible group.
That's awesome.
Really, yeah.
Well, I would imagine I'm going to meet some of them over the course of the rest of the show.
Yeah.
Right? They're all coming in.
Yeah, I believe so.
You drew the short straw to come in at noon. Everyone else
Yeah.
is probably still sleeping.
Yeah, now I'm gonna go rehearse another show at 1 o'clock. So it's like
different show?
Yeah, different show. So it's interesting just being
Is
able
that
to
the
bounce.
life of an actor? You just bounce around like that?
Yeah, that's
I can't even watch.
that's the dream, really. I mean, it's exhausting, but that's the.
I guess. Sean, I have a hard time watching 2 shows. Like if I'm watching, Night Of on HBO, I can't start any other show until I'm done with Night Of. But I can't even imagine being in more than one show. That's awesome. Good for you.
Thank you.
I love spending time with you. I'm
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
excited to see your show.
Thank you.
It's really, really cool.
Yeah. It is. It's a lot of fun. I think people are going to be very surprised about how much fun it is. Really,
Yeah.
it is like just such a party.
Is it like the rock and roll?
I mean, you know what it is actually.
What am I thinking? What's the other show you were in?
Rock of Ages.
Rock of Ages.
It has a little bit of Rock of Ages. It has a little bit of Rocky Horror in it. Even.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, there's definitely a
Oh,
little
so that's
bit of
what you
that
mean by
vibe.
the experience part.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, it has like a very, I feel like Rock and Roll Debauchery has like the sort of cult vibe to it, where people, you come once and then you want to come back again. You
Right.
know, you have people like returning. It has that vibe. It's just because when you're here, it just feels good. It's like it makes you feel good. It makes you forget about all the other crap going on, in your
Love
life.
it.
That's all this is really supposed to be at the end of the day. It's just like a good time.
Yeah.
What are some of the other songs you sing? So you sing that Prince song.
I sing Fire Woman. Which
How do
is
they go?
by-
Like, can you give us a few of the bars, or
You want me to actually sing?
can you sing a little bit, or is
Oh
it easy?
no, dude! I'm just
No?
I am not warmed up, and
Okay.
I'm a little hungover as well.
Nice.
You want me to sing? Are you guys gonna be here all day?
All day.
Or
Oh,
baby?
then can I come back and sing?
course.
I would
Of
really
course.
appreciate that. Yeah, stay tuned. I'm gonna scream in your face in a couple hours.
Nice.
Excellent. Yeah,
It's
we're here
perfect.
till 3.
You're here till 3. Okay.
Yeah. So come back and sing something.
Yeah,
for us.
absolutely.
That means one of these 2 guys have to come sing for us. So.
Yeah, that's right.
Right.
Yeah. Yep.
That's right.
Yep. Where do you go now? Are you gonna go head off and do your other
My
rehearsal?
other, yeah.
Okay, and then come back and chill with us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
Thank you so
Sean
much for having
Whiteford,
me.
everybody.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. We take a break.
Sorry about
Oh,
that.
Really cool. Oh, should we do a picture up here, or you did one?
Oh yeah. Shall
Oh, I
I
think
do a
you did.
picture
Did
of
you do a
you
picture
again? I'm
already?
sorry.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a behind the scenes piece.
Oh, okay. Should we sit? Let's sit.
Oh, we're gonna do them sitting today. You want to smile?
Yeah, I want to smile.
Okay, smile. All right, let's do one of you standing. Actually, there's some light.
naturally. Brian, I'm seeing there's hi. How you doing? Your angel? Yes. Hi.
Hi. Nice to meet you.
It's like light on Jenna's forehead when she was sitting like this. When I was
Thank you so much. Good luck with everything.